was that? Flash briefing.
Jamie, here's your flash briefing. In NPR News.
Live from NPR News in Washington, I'm Windsor Johnston. Former President Donald Trump will be arraigned in New York City today. He's expected to face charges stemming from hush money payments made to an adult film star during the 2016 presidential campaign. The Manhattan District Attorney issued an indictment against Trump last week, marking the first time a former U.S. president will face criminal charges. NPR's Andrea Bernstein is outside of the courthouse in Lower Manhattan this morning, where the former president will arrive later this afternoon.
At some point in the middle of the day, we're told, he will be arriving, he will be fingerprinted, he will be processed, he will be taken into the courtroom on the 15th floor.
It'll be small claims
He will
court,
be read
basically.
the charges. The indictment has been sealed.
You'll have to pay a
up until
fine.
this moment.
Just
Our
wait and see.
understanding is that
He'll
he
come
will
out.
be charged with some combination of felonies having to do with
untouchable.
falsifying business records.
That's NPR's Andrea
He'll be
Bernstein
fine.
reporting. Later tonight, Trump
Small
is
claims court,
scheduled to
man.
deliver a primetime speech
Not
at
even,
his
I
home
mean, to
in
him it's
Florida.
small claims.
Voters are heading to the polls in Chicago to choose a new mayor. NPR's Giles Snyder reports on today's mayoral runoff election.
Chicago voters are choosing between the top two vote-getters from February's municipal election. Former Chicago Public Schools CEO Paul Vallis finished first, and Cook County Commissioner Brandon Johnson came in second. The city is holding a runoff because neither candidate won more than 50% of the vote. Well, the Vallis and Johnson are Democrats, and they're seeking to succeed incumbent Lori Lightfoot in a race that seems to be turning on public safety issues. Lightfoot was eliminated after placing third in February. Johnson is a former teacher and union organizer who has won the endorsement of the Chicago Teachers Union. Vallis has backing from the police union and the business community. Giles Snyder, NPR News.
Stocks on Wall Street showed little movement this morning as oil prices continue to climb. NPR's Scott Horsley reports the Dow Jones Industrial Average slipped about 7 points in early trading.
News over the weekend that Saudi Arabia and other major oil exporters plan to cut production next month continues to put upward pressure on crude oil prices, but retail gasoline prices showed little movement overnight. AAA says the average price at the pump for regular is still around $3.51.
Nothing's changed. Ignore the news.
Tesla's electric cars don't need gasoline. The company posted
Is that
record
what it is?
deliveries
An
in the first 3
advertisement
months
for
of the year
electric
following
cars.
a
Oh,
price
that's what
cut.
it was all about.
Tesla faces
That's
increased
what they were setting you
competition,
up
though,
for.
from other EV
Nothing's
manufacturers.
changed on the oil and gas.
And British authorities have fined the popular video sharing app TikTok for allowing
That was
children
just a
under
setup for
13
advertisement for
to use
Tesla.
the site. TikTok says it takes precautions to make the app off limits to young people. Scott Horsley, NPR News, Washington.
On Wall Street,
Maybe
the Dow
through the
was
stock
down
market and do it.
22 points. This is NPR News in Washington. Parts of the Midwest could see another round of severe weather today. Cleanup operations continue in those areas less than a week after strong storms
What is those
and
areas?
tornadoes
Is that
ripped through
Tornado
the region.
Alley? Yeah.
Finland
Come on.
is now an official member of NATO.
Where people know
NPR's
it's gonna
Rob Schmitz
happen
reports the
every year?
addition of the Nordic country
They still live there?
completes a historic security shift triggered by the Russian invasion of Ukraine.
NATO welcomes Finland as its 31st member in a flag-raising ceremony at the bloc's
they have these
headquarters
cleanups
in
every year
Brussels,
then, don't
attended
they?
by Finnish
So is it
President
really
Sauli
newsworthy?
Niinisto and government ministers. Finland has attempted to
Not in
maintain
this area.
relations with
It's
Russia
probably
even after
newsworthy in the
fending
state
off an
they're in.
invasion attempt by the Soviet Union in World War II. But Russia's invasion of Ukraine marked the end of an
People
era
die and
and
stuff.
prompted the Nordic country to seek security under NATO's
National
collective
news? No,
defense.
it's Tornado
Which
Alley.
states that an attack on one member is an attack on all.
It's the name of the
Sweden
place,
is
man.
also seeking admission to NATO, but its application is being held up by NATO members Turkey and Hungary. Rob Schmitz, NPR News, Berlin.
At least one person was killed when a train crashed in the Netherlands today. Officials say more than 2 dozen others were injured when the train partially derailed near The Hague. Photos from the scene showed 2 train cars perpendicular to the tracks lying across a small canal and partially in a field. An investigation into the crash is now underway. Stocks are trading mixed on Wall Street at this hour. The Dow is down 22 points, NASDAQ Composite down 17. You're listening to NPR News in Washington.
The news can feel incredibly overwhelming. For a breath of much needed fresh air,
commercials.
head to
Amazon.
NPR.org.
Skip.
In NASA news, la NASA y la Agencia Espacial Canadiense CSA por sus siglas en inglés anunciaron a los 4 astronautas que emprendieron un viaje alrededor de la Luna a bordo de Artemis 2. NASA and the Canadian Space Agency CSA announced the 4 astronauts who will venture around the Moon on Artemis 2, the first crewed mission on NASA's path to establishing a long-term presence at the Moon for science and exploration through Artemis. The agencies revealed the crew members Monday during an event at Ellington Field near NASA's Johns. NASA experts will join a virtual press conference hosted by Axiom Space at 12 p.m. EDT Thursday, April 6, to preview the launch of Axiom Mission 2, AX-2, the second private astronaut mission to the International Space Station. The AX-2 launch aboard a SpaceX Falcon 9 rocket and Dragon spacecraft is targeted for early May from Launch Complex 39A at. Media are invited to a NASA media teleconference 1 p.m. EDT Wednesday, April 5th, to discuss the upcoming launch of the first space-based instrument to observe major air pollutants across North America every hour during the daytime. NASA has established the new Moon to Mars program office at NASA headquarters in Washington to carry out the agency's human exploration activities at the Moon and Mars for the benefit of humanity. Amit Kshatriya will serve as the agency's first head of the office, effective immediately. In weather. Currently, in Seattle it's 38 degrees Fahrenheit with mostly cloudy skies. Today, you can expect partly sunny weather, with a high of 50 degrees and a low of 38 degrees. From NASA, la NASA y la Agencia Espacial Canadiense CSA por sus siglas en inglés anunciaron a los 4 astronautas que emprendieron un viaje alrededor de la Luna a bordo de Artemis 2.
Amazon. Off. Amazon. Tell us a joke.
I'm reading a book about anti-gravity. It's impossible to put down.
Okay. Well, it was all commercials today, so I watched a video earlier by Kevin's Corner. He and I don't always agree, but this video happened to be the bomb. Okay, so it shows Ted Cruz just absolutely tearing somebody up like it's a court case, and like the other person didn't bring any information pertaining to the court case to court, and so the judge just let the lawyer just beat up on him, the lawyer being Ted Cruz. So I'll find the link to that and put it in the video description. It's better to watch than any of this Alexa spit out today. All right. It's good to know there's nice people like that can handle things like in that lawyer type way out there fighting for us. That way. Yeah, whatever.